video just to prepare you for practice for all of these practices and set you up so that you feel comfortable and you feel more casual about what that means. You could wear jeans. I'm going to wear jeans in the next video just to show you. You don't have to be in your proper yoga gear, yoga pants. You will or you might want a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a pillow or a couple of pillows. You might have a long one or just a couple of regular pillows that you would use with your bed. A block, but if you don't have a block, grab a book about the same size. It doesn't have to be so big, but a book will work as well. You might not need it, but it's just nice to have in case. Maybe a little cushion if you're going to meditatively sit afterwards. And you can do all of this on the couch. So in the practice, when I say lay down or come to the mat, you can come to a couch instead. Okay, and you can do some of these on the couch. We're going to open hips in certain ways. You might want to make sure that the hip that might open might be out towards the outside, but you can just come to the edge to open the other one, and you might even have a little more support with your knee. You might want a cozy blanket. Not might, I really suggest it. Sometimes when we go deep in subtle practices, within poses, we can get really cold. So I'm going to invite you to do that, especially if you know your home is cold or that it's a colder season for you. We're going to come into two basic poses for these practices. Lying down, you can be flat or you could use the bolster. And I'm just going to show you the poses now more technically so that when we go into the practice, you can enjoy the practice and just really focus on the practice. So the further the bolster is away from your low back, the less intense it will be on your sacrum, your SI or sacroiliac joints, or just your low back. So you might want it further away. If that doesn't bother you, bring it closer in. We're going to come down and make sure your head's supported. This is where you might use the block or book. If it feels like your neck is not supported enough, your head weight's not supported enough, you just lift the bolster. Or if it just feels like too much of an incline, and so then you're a little higher up, more supported with your head. So setting that up, I'm going to invite you to notice where you place your arms, and there's not a right or wrong. And we're basically going to do one side butterfly, so that means you're opening up your hip, and then we'll do the other side butterfly. You can also use a book or a block underneath your thigh, and that could support you as well. The other pose is trickier, and you do not have to do it. For some of you, it's just not going to be right. And you can do this on the couch too. You might want to sit on the edge of the bolster, and that will give you more support. But you might need to extend what's behind you. And so I have a little extra cushion on my head. But we're going to come into, it's called half heroes, to get into the quad. If this is not available to you and you would just come down, if you can't come down, some people can, some people can't. This leg could stay bent, this leg could go long. In general, when you're doing asymmetrical poses, butterfly or this one, if you feel low back pain, always bend the opposite leg. So always bend the opposite leg to make it less intense. If this is just like, no way, or you have to stay up to do it, and it's just not as relaxing, what you can do is, instead, very similar to the butterfly, but this time, what you're going to try to do with the knee bent is hook the foot, and so when you open, it's a little bit more in, rather than the knee coming out. A little more in, and you're getting a little more of the quad. Some people, the bolster creates too much lift, so you can do all of this without the bolster. Okay? And then for some people, even laying down right now might be too dizzying. I have some clients where that's true. So just sit up against the wall or again the couch, and you can do this with the hips still. You can go with the butterfly, you can go with it a little bit more in. Again, this is just to support you setting up for your practice. Everyone is unique, so there might be something else you're needing. And that's one of the great things about this course. You can always get support at holly.bija@gmail.com. Email me and get the support that you need. Sometimes you can have a quiet space, sometimes you can't. Don't let it stop you if it can't be perfect. And what's most important with this practice is to do it. Now, we're going to do a marma point with the heart, and this is going to be 2 fingers distance from that where the collarbones meet, right down the center of your sternum. So you meet that U-shaped center of your collarbones where they meet, and you just go about, it doesn't have to be exact, about 2 fingers below that, right in the middle of the sternum. And that's the marma point that we're going to come into. And we're going to just gently either tap, circle, or just simply touch that point when we're coming into our forgiveness practice. So I'm just going to invite you to feel into it now, find it now, maybe zing into it now. I always use that word with acupressure, marma points, zing into it. And lastly, the breath. We are going to use circular breath for most of this practice, if not all. So we're going to inhale and exhale and try not to have any retention like box breathing. If you do box breathing, we're not doing that. So we're trying to create a flow, a circular wave-like breath that goes up and down the body. There's more complexity that can come, but we're just really going to go up with our inhale today or with these practices and exhale down the body. That's the practice with the breath. So if you hear me say circular breath, it's because the breath becomes like a big circle, one leading to the other, but also the inhale leading into the exhale leading into the inhale. So it doesn't break up the circular flow. Again, don't let any of the setup stuff stop you. Don't let it intimidate you. You could have a pillow. You could, again, find the spot. It could be in your bed that this is best for. And it's best that we do the practice of forgiving, not that we have all of the stuff. Okay? Sometimes the stuff can support us, but sometimes it can take us from doing the actual work. So just be mindful of that. And you could do this seated up with none of the postures if it's better for you. Now, we do want to try to get into the body, and one of the places we're trying to get into is the psoas for starting to unravel the nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system dropping into parasympathetic and to safety over time as we forgive. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing some hip opening in different ways and quad opening. I know you've got this. I know this is important to you. I know it's important to the world and to your communities. I want to thank you for doing it. I thank myself for doing it. We need it. We need this sense of releasing of the burdens and becoming more and more empowered and free to be who we are. So thank you for doing this practice. We're going to jump into the first session when you're ready. I'll see you there.